Namaste and welcome, mighty companions, bearers of the light of God, to help remind each other what's true, that only the light's true, and everything else is an idea. Yeah, Jesus is showing me really how deeply and how helpful it is to look with him and have him guide every miracle, every single one. That we don't even know what a miracle is really. We have an idea, but all the ideas about what miracles are is the very thing that prevents them.
The recording.
From being accepted. And we were having a talk yesterday with the realization that we really don't even know when we've had a miracle, actually. It's very humbling. It's happy humbling. It's really good to ask Jesus, am I ready for a miracle? And don't be surprised when he tells you no. We can have all the miracles. We are the miracle. Until he really shows you how much you don't want one. And that's what he's showing, is he's taking us down to where in the mind, the big fat no is to the to God, really. It's like seeing that we're light, infinite light. Seeing and recognizing, because it's easy to see. It's not difficult to see. Well, the ego sometimes plays like, I don't get it. I don't see that there's light here. That's a desire. And he tells you, talks about the holy instant. Is just a desire not to see that what's here is infinite. That's the entire play. No, no, and triple no. I remember saying that one time, I think of Helena. I want to be able to say no. And I was quite, and that's the gig. That's it. I want to say no to everything. I mean, when that no is buried down under there, because we don't know what we're saying no to. I love it. We have these 3 little owls that Renee bought. Oh my gosh, they're the cutest little things. And they're 3 little owls. I don't want to hear that I'm God. I don't want to speak that I'm God. And I certainly don't want to see them. You can ask Jesus. It's not till he really shows you that's experience. It's like, I don't want to be God in any shape, way, or form, do I? And then at the same time, when we're asking God for help, underneath the subconscious mind, we don't want help. Zip. You can ask him, like, Jesus, and the same time I think I'm asking you for help. There's a big fat no under there. You're going to feel ripped. It's so helpful to have him just translate everything that comes, the serpent comes out of the serpent's tongue. So we can start speaking with our true voice, the voice of infinite. So we can see where the serpent, the little forked tongue, where the forked tongue is to split to 2. It's agreeing with limitation. There isn't another way of it, other than speaking that voice. Because otherwise we're speaking the serpent's voice. That's what he's teaching us here. Follow me. I'll tell you everywhere to go, what to do, and what to say. Otherwise, it's an investment in the serpent tongue. It's biting the apple of the tree of knowledge. I think I know. It's hilarious because even I think I know, that's a little parrot will say that. It was hilarious. It was what a reflection. There's so many community. Every time I'd walk by, that's the I know mind. That's the I know mind. The serpent tongue saying, that's the I know mind. But as soon as we have a twitch from anything that rises up, we're in the serpent's play. The play of the serpent. That's how, that's why he's saying, notice how you feel. But we don't even know how we feel, actually. You can ask Jesus, do I really know how I feel? No. We play the serpent. And then with the desire not to see that we're God. I could see that. It was just talking to him. He shows you everything. He shows, yeah. Not wanting to be God, wanting every image of the world, desiring it, and knowing at the same time it's impossible. That it's helpful, that kind of really direct looking and asking him, okay, Jesus, specifically, what are the miracles? And as we talk about here, and we talked about in these sessions, in these joining sessions, he has to be the one. There just isn't, like I've asked him, not for me, not for here. He has to. You just see it until he shows it to you and you're just going, okay. I do desire that. Anything but God. It has to be that way because there's only light. So if we're not light, we might not remember supreme happiness, but we can see that the light's here. That's the easy part. That's what's given, infinite light of being. And then those subconscious big fat nose running our lives that we don't even see. And meanwhile, we're asking Jesus for help. It's like, as someone said, I can feel it. I have my foot on the go pedal and the brake pedal at the same time. He'll show you where that brake pedal is. Why am I not going faster to heaven? Meanwhile, the foot is slammed to the floor on the brake. It's like, we forgot that the foot's on the brake pedal. It's full on slammed down to the floor. And going, I don't understand why this car's not moving. You know, the car's not moving and you look down and the emergency brake's on. Either that or you were driving down the street going, man, this car's not going, I don't get it. And you're just, it's not moving. And then you see that red light. Well, you smell something a lot. You just smell the rubber burning. And if you're, and you think it's embarrassing, you know, if somebody's sitting next to you going, do you smell something? You know, I don't know why this, that's it right there. That's the whole gig that Jesus said, there it is. And you need the mighty to go, boy, you know, there's something that really smelling bad in this car as your brakes are going up in smokes. You know, Ever have that happen? You're driving along and somebody's waving. What is wrong with them? And your kid's hanging out the back door. What is wrong? Why are they bothering me about that? We need help to see that the emergency brake is slammed on and we're burning rubber. And he's the only one we can show is like where that is down there in the nether regions of the know to God. In the I can usurp the power of God. And when you start looking so direct with them, the desire, just straight on looking. And you see it and he shows it to you. Full on. You're right. Light's here and I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want a smidgen of peace. Not one. Not a tiny little eke, a crack, a speed, and certainly not happiness. And you think, that's insane that I wouldn't want happiness. Until you see how much happiness is to be crucified. And I get in there and do a really good job crucifying happiness, supreme happiness, oneness with the Father. Don't want to be it. But it's helpful because then it's the admission. Then we can say, oh, and just release the energy to a miracle or be shown where even though a miracle is always available, the correction's really fast. It's like one thought placed in the light of being goes, pff. We're withholding it. And that's what he's really, at least showing me, that he needs to be in charge of miracles. He needs to show me where they are because he knows where the bones are buried. Unless we ask, those things will stay hidden. But boy, you open up the gates to the know, then he'll show you where they all are. That's the experience. That's what he's for me. And releasing those energies of the know to God. And he's reminding me right now, we're going to be, it's just encouraging to go through chapter 20 in pairs and finding a buddy. So if you want a buddy, then let us know and we'll buddy up beings. Or if you just happen to find one that you're guided to just sit and listen to Talk Jesus through chapter 20 to uncover and release those denials. It's the Reader's Digest of the Course in Miracles, practical, direct. So then rather than discussing any metaphysics, you're just being guided so directly with him. This miracle, Jesus, do I have this belief below my level of awareness? And you can, oh, right, there it is. There it is. And let him clear them with them for the miracle straight through. So we don't have to figure out what the miracles are that is needed. He's going to show, he's got them all outlined. And more may arise with that working relationship with Jesus becomes so acute and hearing his voice so acute that regardless of what arises, you know who to go to see through it. So we're lesson 346. Today, the peace of God envelopes me, and I forget all things except his love. Okay. It's a beautiful reminder. The world requires memory. Does the infinite light of being need memory? Is the world just a memory, Jesus? The Son of God forgot to laugh. Remembered not to laugh, actually. Remembered not to laugh. It took memory. Takes memory. You can ask Jesus, memory. choice to remember something that can't happen. So to forget all things except his love is to lay aside the idols. He's really talking to me about idols and the desire for images as idols. And wanting the images and just seeing, boy, I really do want those images to be true. And he's also just showing me the relishing of every relish. You know, the ego's cafeteria plan. It just rolls out objective experiences and it decorates them. And you got a little, all the different smorgasbord of things, all the different foods. And I've always just absolutely loved buffets. You know, oh, I can choose look at all that food. Look at all those choices. You see, and food too. Oh, yum. You know, when am I going to find a good buffet? That's the whole ego's plan. I'm going to find a buffet of choices, you know, and then I can sit down and have a meal and compare every single thing that I eat to all the other times I've eaten that before. So I don't have to see that I'm God. Just be God. The smorgasbord of choice. In the light of divine being and honesty of God, does the light know choice? Jesus, do I still have a desire for choice below my level of awareness, the wanting of it? I mean, you just go with them and have miracles until the itch for that just, it's like, wait a minute, choice, the light doesn't know what choice is. You can do the light test on everything. Does the light know this? It's not for me to know it if the light doesn't know it. Nothing unreal can be threatened. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing testing. No. We're testing course knowledge. He says, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. You see in the light of divine being. That's a great thing. We always have Jesus to show us the correction in the error of any thought. So only in the light can that be seen and honored. There's nothing unreal in light. I forget all things. Jesus, am I unwilling to forget everything except his love? Do I have a desire to keep things that are not his love and remember unloving things? I'm willing to see it. Anything that's unloving. He says anything other than God is unloving. Because God is love itself. See that love has no memory in it. It doesn't know what memory is, therefore you don't know what memory is. Jesus, do I have the desire for an experience of making memories real to obscure the memory of God? This the knowing of God. Father, I wake today with miracles correcting my perception of all things. Jesus, am I willing to wake today with miracles correcting my perception of all things? Can you show me any places where I don't want miracles to correct my perception. Where I'd rather have images and ideas and thoughts more than miracles. I like actually, Jesus, is there a desire below my level of awareness to actually be in opposition to miracles? Willing to see that. And so begins the day I share with you as I will share eternity. For time is stepped aside today. Am I willing to let time step aside? To be timeless? I do not seek the things of time, and so will not look upon them. What I seek today transcends all laws of time and things perceived in time. Does the light transcend all laws of time and things perceived in time and our direct experiences light beings? I would forget all things except your love. I would abide in you and know no laws except your love of love, your law of love. Jesus, am I willing to accept the law of love, or do I want to deny it? Is there a denial below my level of awareness? Desire to deny love? To keep laws other than love? The laws of love. Jesus says, see that there are no other laws other than love's law. That laws are concepts other than love's law. And I would find the peace which you created for your Son, forgetting all the foolish toys I made as I behold your glory in my own. That's so beautiful. And I would find the peace which you created for your Son. Jesus, did God create peace for me? He says you're created as peace, peace itself. There isn't anything other than peace. It's all God knows. You can ask Jesus, he'll tell you. Everyone teases me about saying, ask Jesus. Yet it's a reminder to ask Jesus. That we can ask Jesus. That's our acceptance of divinity, to ask Jesus. And we can hear him. Every being who comes can hear him because you want to hear him. Don't want the ways of the world. We don't want the ways of the world anymore. We see they don't work. And that the light of infinite being, not touched by these things. And so he's teaching us how we play and pretend like we can be touched by time and space. When we don't even know what time and space is in honesty of God. See how much you do not want to be God. Look directly at me, with me, to see that you're God, not wanting to be God. Not wanting to be the same. Be sameness. wanting to be different from God. Just see that the light's not judging that. The light's just here to be accepted exactly as it is, exactly as you are, whole, complete, holy, sin limit, without limit. I would find the peace which you created for your son, forgetting all the foolish toys I made as I behold your glory and my own. Jesus, am I valuing, is there anywhere below my level of awareness where I'm valuing the foolish toys I made more than your glory? Do I want those toys more than you? And you go until he says no. You go deep with him, just looking, gently looking and releasing the no's, the play in consciousness to fragment. You can hear it in our, when beings are speaking and they can say, there is a part of me that you can see the split, but now we can see the split. When you start talking about parts, that's a fragment. It's such a great opportunity. There's a split right in a fragment. I feel a part of me. Do you see how it plays in parts and pieces torn? Part of me that wants God. No, all of you wants God. The parts are playing like they cannot find God and wanting to float off into objective experience. So you can just see the clue, take that part clue and say, okay, this is a desire for a part, to be a part from. And then you can look right at it. Jesus, show me the desire for this part. That'll go deep. The wanting of it, to keep it. To keep a fragment and play in a fragmentary world. You can ask Jesus, and someone said that so beautifully. It might have been Dennis. I don't know, it was so beautiful coming out of our brother going, Jesus is showing me there are no parts. And you just start to hear these just amazingly beautiful things. Your brother's always beautiful. You start hearing your brother in a whole new way. Everything's beautiful, I show you. Even someone just screaming and yelling, I hate God. You'll see the beauty, even that, because God is in everything I see. You can ask him, is my only function to see everything with the glory of God? And hear that resounding Jesus, yes. Forgetting all the foolish. So Jesus, all I need to do is forget the foolish toys. He says it's just ceasing to want to remember them. Little tinker toy thoughts. And just construct a whole world with them. Jesus, do I have a desire to construct a whole world out of tinker toy thoughts? And I'm fighting you for every single tinker toy. Every one. Billions of duking it out with Jesus over what we want to keep that's passing. That's experience here. Or however consciousness plays and not wanting to see divine nature. But it's a happy thing to see, because then we can be truly in honesty of God. See that we're light. Admit we're saying no to light, and cease to deny light through miracles. By being directed by the one who knows to the release of the desire to deny the light. And when the evening comes today, we will remember nothing but the peace of God. For we will learn today what peace is ours. Then we forget all things except for God's love. Jesus, will you help me forget all things except for God's love? He says, this is but my one function. To help you forget that you can ever be apart from God, being one with Him. Rest in knowing I will show you. If you ask me, I will show you. I'll show you the way. Amen. Thank you, loves. All love from San Juan Coastal.